Hello, my name is Ben Hanrahan, and today I'm going to present our paper on agency and extraction in emerging industrial drone applications, where we had Rwandan farm workers and the surrounding community members construct imaginaries around drones that were being developed and prototyped and beginning to be deployed on a local farm. The background and the setting of this work is that we began this work with a specific partner, and this partner was the owner of a flower farm. The flowers that they grew on this farm was a particular type of flower that was very prized in Japan, and there are very few places it can be grown on. The owner himself was a Japanese fellow who was concerned about the perception of these drones that were being developed by a third-party corporation and that were being tested on his farm. Generally, it's important to know that at this moment, the Rwandan government is highlighting technology as a means to modernize, and that zipline is a particularly prominent example, like it features on the news and things. And what Zipline does is it's a drone company that transports blood and medication to rural hospitals, among other things. But that heavily informs people's attitudes towards drones in Rwanda. One other thing that informs attitudes towards drones, and particularly farming automation, is there is a bit of a history of failed automation, and there are all these like broken down tractors that people can see, and this informed their response. So here are the drones in the bigger picture are the ones that we took around with us when we interacted with the community, the farm workers, and the farm staff. And they were meant as an approximation to be an approximation of the drone in the smaller picture, which is the one that they're actually using and testing out on the farm. You can see it's a prototype. So as the farmers and community members, or the workers and the community members, were constructing their imaginaries, they were asking us a lot of questions, right, about what the exact parameters of these things are as they imagined how they would be used. And these questions, you almost felt like you were being interviewed by the participants, right? So they would ask the interviewers, who's controlling the drones? You know, who owns them? They're going, you know, can we repair them, right? They're terribly concerned with being able to repair them as part of the sort of failed automation before. They want to know how much it costs to repair them. Will they be able to get parts for them? Who's going to benefit from them, right? Are they really expensive? Are they meant for us? Are they just meant for outside farmers? They were really trying to figure out what was going on, right? They'd seen the drones around. You know, there was a direct line of sight to see what was going on in the farm, and a lot of the workers themselves had seen them. But due to language barriers and all these things, they hadn't interacted much with the people actually using them. They're also concerned about their safety and the security of their jobs, of course, right? So is that going to spray pesticides here? Is it going to run into us? Who's like driving it? And the farm workers themselves, the casual workers, were worried about their job being displaced. However, as we were analyzing the data, we really saw that what they didn't ask us and what they didn't talk about said a lot as well. So nobody asked about the value of the data being extracted, right? They were all aware that data was being extracted. They talked about pictures and audio files and tracking workers and stuff, but they didn't, you know, really think about the data that was being extracted and its value. And they didn't properly realize, and we only realized this in retrospect, which jobs were actually in danger, right? So they're used to thinking that jobs that were more manual labor were in danger. But in fact, what this was actually threatening were the jobs of the farm staff who collected data and did analyses by paper mostly. And so what we really want to highlight here in these imaginaries and studying this type of work is that you really have to think carefully, which we only really did after the fact, about observable and unobservable functionality. So it was very useful to have these drones, but it was, we should have made more apparent some of the other more unseen functionality. And that the things that did help us with these imaginaries were understanding the historical and current context and how the historical context informs that, and also helping us to uncover consequences that they were concerned at and help us to create these more informed design constraints.